Hey everyone, you remember how I told you guys about my book, Immortal Rebirth, and how I told you a little bit about Chapter 7, Soulmate? Well, I'm kind of having writer's block, and I really need y'all's help with this. So I'm going to read you Chapter 7 and a little bit of Chapter 8. I finally figured out what I wanted to write Chapter 7 about, and I'm writing Chapter 8, but I'm stuck writing Chapter 8. I can't figure out where to go from where I'm at. So I need y'all's help on what to call it, where to go with it. But first I'm going to read you what I've got so far with Chapter 7 and Chapter 8. So here I go. Chapter 7, Soulmates. When I woke up the morning after I had my nightmare, I was wrapped comfortably in Alexander's protective hold. I was always happy and felt safe waking up curled up against Alexander. After all, Alexander is my vampire mate. I lay there for about a minute, just enjoying the protective and loving warmth of Alexander's arms wrapped around me. "Are you okay?" asked Alexander. "Yeah, I'm fine." "Hey, Alexander, can I ask you something?" I said. "Of course, ask away," said Alexander, smiling. I smiled happily and said, "Can I go look for some books in the library?" I asked. "Sure, and I'll come with you and help you look," said Alexander with a smile. "Sounds good. Come on, let's get dressed and head down to the library," I said, smiling slightly at Alexander. We went to the closet, and I picked out a very lovely red silk gown, and Alexander put on a very handsome tux, and after we were dressed we went to the library. "So what kinds of books are we looking for, Rebecca?" asked Alexander curiously. "We are looking for books about visions and vampires and other fiction kinds of books," I said. "And why are we looking for those kinds of books?" asked Alexander curiously. "Because I'm curious if my dream means something, and also because I'm bored. I need something to do," I said with a grin. "You do know that I can keep you from being bored, don't you?" asked Alexander as he wrapped his arms around my waist and kissed me passionately. I kissed him back fiercely, and then I said, "Alexander, will you do something with me?" I asked. "Of course. What do you want to do?" asked Alexander. "I want to become your soulmate," I said very seriously to Alexander. I looked up at Alexander and saw that he had a very serious expression on his face. "Are you sure you want to become my soulmate?" Alexander asked. "Of course I'm sure. I love you and I want to be with you forever," I said. "It'll be painful to become my soulmate. I'll have to bite you and then drink your blood, and then you bite me and drink my blood too," Alexander said. I brushed my long brown hair away from my neck and said, "I want to become your soulmate. Please become mine forever," I said as I looked at Alexander's sapphire eyes. "I love you too. I'll give you what you desire," Alexander said as he leaned in to bite my neck. I leaned forward so Alexander could reach my neck and so I could reach his. Alexander gently bit into my neck. Hold on, I messed up. Alexander gently bit my neck and drank deeply as I bit into his neck, even though I didn't bite him as gently as I wish I had. I drank mouthfuls of his sweet blood until I felt my soul become a part of his, and I knew that we were now soulmates. So that was Chapter 7. I know I messed up a little bit in there. I'm sorry about that. Just tired today and having trouble reading. And here's Chapter 8. I don't have a title for it yet, but here I go. After Alexander and I became soulmates, I began to wonder what Alexander meant by, "It'll be painful to become my soulmate." Because it wasn't painful at all. Actually, it was very pleasurable. It was better than feeding from humans. "So, what do you want to do now?" asked Alexander, tending to my neck wound. I looked at him and said, "I don't know, but I've been thinking about something," I said. "What have you been thinking about?" asked Alexander, still tending to my neck wound. "I've been thinking about what you said, about how me becoming your soulmate might be painful." I looked up at Alexander's sapphire eyes. "Was it painful?" asked Alexander, concerned. "No, it wasn't painful at all. It felt amazing," I said with a huge grin. "It felt that way to me too. It made me feel closer to you," said Alexander with a smile as he kissed me lovingly. I kissed him back fiercely and wrapped my arms around his neck, trying hard not to hit the place where I had bitten him. Alexander's arms were wrapped around my waist as we kissed each other passionately. very passionately. I'm sorry. And that's what I've gotten to so far, and I can't figure out what to write next. So if y'all can give me ideas, that would be really helpful. But this video is getting really long, so I better go and think about what to write next. But please give me some ideas in the comments. I'd love to hear your comments and suggestions for it. That would be really helpful. Well, anyway, I gotta go. Bye!